Hello guys, how's it going today? Right before I go into my locals for a sneak peek of the Link Joker set, I'm here to give you guys a deck profile on my Bermuda Triangle deck, Harmony to be specific, because there really isn't any other decks that I like to play in the current format or ever really. Bermuda Triangle have always been a little watered down, and of course they get some new hype up game breaking support, but then like after the week or so it just dies down as well as just about every other deck. Other than Prism though, but I do not play Prism myself because I'm a very casual player and I like to go a little rogue. I like to play the things that people won't normally play, and then if I don't like it or whatnot, I will abandon it. But maybe I will pick up back on it and just play it just for the hell of it, even if I like win or lose. And well, the one that I always stuck with was Harmony. I went on a bit of a hiatus not too long ago when I was trying to find some other clan that I thought was more suited for me. But I mean, there's no play style that I'm really used to aside from just having to draw a crap ton, build up a nice wall, and swing for some semi-impressive numbers. So I thought, you know what, let's go back to Harmony, let's give it another go. Prism was right around the corner around at the exact same time, but I chose not to do it because everyone else was already up on it. So by the time I decided, hey, maybe I think I'll try Prism, everything was out of stock. Labrador and Vert were 20 plus a piece, and I was like, nope, never mind, let's go back to Harmony. It's still dirt cheap, and it's still a ton of fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start with the main deck first. Alright, so for the grade 3s, I'm playing 3 of the OG Loris, Miracle Voice Loris. Only 3, don't really need to play 4 because I want to see the other Loris a little bit more, especially when I want to put her on rear guard. She's okay, she makes a decent 21k column later on during the video. I'll explain how that's possible, but I mean, aside from that, she's your primary right target. The other Loris is fine, especially against decks that are coming up in the upcoming meta with like Chaos and updated Messiah and Overlords are going to be a big thing now again. So I mean, you're not really going to have a board as much as you want anymore. So you don't want to have to be restricted to Loris's mandatory skill to bounce a card in order to draw. So the new Loris, which I'll explain right now, you don't need a board to draw. Well, I think one more thing I need to explain is her GB2. I've had a few comments and people saying, hey, I'm pretty sure that if you put a unit behind her on your opponent's turn and they're both in Harmony, she'll gain 5, you give another unit 5, but the second that unit's worn off, you're no longer in Harmony. Well, the rule about Harmony is that if both units are in Harmony, both units are in Harmony till end of turn, so even if a unit is gone, you don't have to maintain your column to stay that way. Plus, the power still stays because her unit, her skill is auto, it is not continuous, so you do not have to maintain that column in order to gain it. Unlike the other Loris, which is what I'm finally going to go into. Right here. Like I said, this may just end up being your primary right target depending on the matches that you're going into, mostly because her on-stride skill doesn't require you to have a board in order to draw, although you could just, well, not much to say about that. That's pretty much the best thing about her skill is that you draw first and then you can choose units to return to your hand, and it's up to 2, which is very nice, especially when you have like a locked front row and your back row is just sitting there. Bouncing back so they're still not targets, but with Chaos, they could just lock it from your front or back row, so it doesn't, I mean from your hand or drop zone, so it doesn't really matter. And then she has a rear guard skill. When she's in Harmony on the rear guard circle, she can gain plus 5,000 power. So that's fine, I guess. As well as the Vanguard circle, and then she'll end up getting a crit, just like the regular Loris, but you can't give another unit plus 5. So, oh well. Some restrictions, but then again, there are just some ups and downs with that card. And then I play 1 copy of Ring Arpeggio? I don't know how to pronounce that one word. Mikoto. This is my amazing Tekken. She comes in so much clutch. At first when I saw her, I thought this card is absolute garbage. Why on earth would you ever want to play this? They made a skill around a simple action you can do at any point in the game for free, so I never understood until I realized, wait, if you're playing Bermuda, you want to do a lot of extra swings, especially during the battle phase. So I thought, well, maybe that wasn't supposed to be a main phase skill. What if you're supposed to do it during the battle phase? Let me test it out. This with Spica and having a 7k booster behind it is excellent. You make another 21k column right off the bat. Beautiful on Olivia turns, GB8 turns. You just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6, 7 attacks depending on how your board turns out and how much damage you have open. So yeah, definitely a great card. I checked in. If you guys are wondering what in the world this thing took out, it did take out a Miracle Voice. That's why I don't play it at 4 anymore, because I see her enough as it is, and then I have Stride Enabler, so that always helps to get out your Loris. But this was just a very nice Tekken. And then I play 4 Eager Envy Marin. I'm going to say Marin because I don't know how to pronounce the rest of that. She is your Loris grade 2. I always complained how like every other clan and their mom has always gotten a special grade 2 for the like the boss grade 3 of that clan or nation or subclan, whatever. And but Loris never really got one. Well, now we have one. Kinda. I mean, it you just requires a Loris Vanguard, so you can just name cheat with the strides. And when she's in Harmony, actually that part's not GB2. This is pre GB. As long as you have a Vanguard with Loris in the name, if this unit is in Harmony, she gains plus 3,000 power, which is okay, 12k swing. But then her GB2, which is weird. I wish it was GB1, but I guess GB2 is a fine restriction. Because you can go into GB2 first try no matter what in Bermuda. She gains an additional +3 for every 2 units in Harmony, so if you have multiple columns in Harmony, she'll just stack more power. Makes it a very, very impressive turn, especially when you have Subaru as her booster. And going down, we have 3 Spica. I cut this down from 4 to 3 because I saw her too much, and there are times where you just flat out do not need Spica, depending on the game state, you know. So if you're going up against Link Joker or Kagura or sometimes even Narukami, there's just going to be times where Spica is just completely useless, and your field just isn't going to complement this card. But she does come in clutch. You just want to play her at 3 just so you can see her. Play 2 Vita, played her at 3, but I dropped one more for another card that I was missing in the deck that I completely forgot of for quite some time while during my hiatus. Vita is just a very, very important card in the deck overall. Basically, if you don't know what she does, it's GB1, Soul Blast 1. During either player's main phase, that's the important part. Return her to your hand, and you may choose... Is it you may choose, or do you have to choose? Yeah, you choose up to grade 1 or less card from your hand and call it to Rigard Circle, and if it is your turn, you may countercharge 1. So she is a very important key card to the deck in terms of, just getting your countercharges out, because Soul is a very untapped resource in this deck. Depending on how much you're drawing and how many resources you're putting out, you may be able to utilize it a little bit better, but she just definitely comes in clutch, especially during your opponent's turn. You just got to watch out, though, because a lot of grade 3s these days are getting on ride or beginning of ride phase skills to blow up or bind, so you just have, or unlock especially. So just watch out for that. Be careful on how you use this card. And yeah, she's just used to make very impressive number columns defensively with either of your Lorises. Because what you would do is, during your opponent's main phase, you would return her to your hand from wherever she is on the board, call any unit from your hand that's grade 1 or less, so a grade 1 or 0, call it behind the Vanguard. Vanguard's now in Harmony. You now sit at a 16k booty, and if you're sitting on the OG Loris, you can spread 5k to wherever the hell you want. Just limit the amount of guarding you have to do, and the amount of attacks your opponent can make, and make them second guess. Maybe now I want to try something a little bit more... like roundabout. I don't want to have to attack them. I'll see if I can do some sort of skill to blow them up, make them use their resources just over her skill. And then on top of that, of course, she does get to countercharge 1, which is very nice. So not much to say about it. It's just a very clear staple for Harmony. And then I took out 1 for Amelia. I completely forgot this card existed, and thank God I remembered at the last second that she had resist in the card text, so you don't really have to rely on Subaru to hand resist down to anyone else. Typical, when it's bounced back, counterblast 1, draw an extra card. Works great with Leona. Going on to the grade 1s, I play 3 Stride Fodder. You draw so much, you don't need to play 4. You see another one, it's just going to be dead in your hand, and you draw so much, you're probably going to search out your 3s with the next card. You have unlimited Stride Fodder, basically, so just play 3. I played 3 Shizuku, may drop this down to 2 because I see her way too much, and the more you see her, the more grade 3s you're going to see. You don't want to break on so many grade 3s in your hand, although they are Stride and PG fodder. Or if you draw the Loris or Mikoto, that's just great rear guards to have to go offensively. And I may drop one of those to play my 4th Subaru. Subaru always needs to come in clutch because whenever I see her, it's always a ride target or the first damage check ever. So it's very, very annoying and unfortunate to see go away. But overall, this card is just absolutely amazing, and I nicknamed her the Photo Bomb Chick because, well, I know Subaru's, I'm guessing this chick, but there's an amazing image on the Vanguard Wikia where it shows this girl, like in her entire face, photoshopped over here, and I thought, wow, that's pretty funny, and then her face is somewhere over here. That's great. But her skill is basically a GB1, once per turn, when this unit is in Harmony, target one of your other units with the GB2 somewhere on its card text, and this and that unit gain resist, and then just this unit gains plus 3,000 power, so she becomes a nice 10k attacker or booster. Works very, very well with either your Lorises, your Strides if they have it, and as well as your Marin for Bermuda. not much to say. Just an excellent card. You can even give it to your Vanguard, which is the very best thing. So going up against Machining is just a laugh. Machining are getting upcoming support, and it looks fantastic. And I love playing Machining. It's a lot of fun and very, very cheap. So if you want to go rogue and win a lot of games just practically for free, you just play Machining. But then now I have an out to it, so it's not going to be not much fun to them anymore. I play 4 Kukri because you have to countercharge at all times. I see people play like 3 Kukri and 1 of the Harmony PG, but I'm not sure why. I think I understand, but at the same time, I don't think I do. Then I played 2 of the promo, What on Earth, Magical Yell, Nina. I would play the Duo one. I prefer that art better because this art is just a little too scandalous for me. I'm not sure what the proper word would be. I mean, just look at this freaking art. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Soul Blast 2, Countercharge 2, very, very simple. You do use the Counter Blast a lot in this deck, and like I said, the Soul is an untapped resource almost at all times, so you just want to utilize this the best you can. I only played as a 2 because you don't need to see cards like that anymore. And then I play 1 Secret Smile Pumo. I would put this up to 2 if I could, but I don't have that much space. Well, that is, I don't think I do. I'm going to have to do a lot more testing, especially with the upcoming meta. I'm going to slap in some 10k vanillas and some more Amelias and play around. But so far, this is my current deck list. And it's been doing pretty well. What she does is when she's placed in the Guardian Circle, choose a card from your hand, call it to a rearguard circle, and she gains an additional 5k shield. So it's a free 10k shield, basically. And it's perfect when trying to power up your Vanguard when you don't have Vita. Or you can use her to call Vita because it's not restricted to what grade you can call. You have the Vanguard plus 5k shield, stack her 5k shield, instant 20k guard, 26k guard, blocks just about every other attack you can in the game that isn't already beefed up as it is. Moving on to triggers, I play 4 Cherished Phrase, Reyna, the Loris critical trigger, absolutely must play. Then I play another 6 Assorted Crits. The reason why I play so many is because when it comes down to Olivia, you must bounce units with different names and as the end result to complete her skill. So it's always good to have multiple units. Now, sure, it's a pain in the ass to write down on like a slip when you need to submit your deck in, but it's worth it because it always comes in clutch. I don't play any of the other triggers that have skills because you need that really nice 5k body for a really good guard. 16k guards, 10k out of the way. With the new Loris, it's 21k, so a 15k guard just works wonders. I play 2 draws in a deck like this, just like Battle Sister. Back when I did play the deck a little bit more, I had to get rid of it. I would always play draws because a lot of the draw skills in here, you have to get off with skills, and because it's so counterblast heavy, and if you don't have your resources set up and you can't recover from them because you're going aggro on the previous turn, you won't be able to get all your draws off. And just like Battle Sister, I mean, they're all either main phase or especially on the on-hit skills, so if they never go off, you'll never be able to draw. So always play draws just to be clutch. Plus, it's a draw that goes into the soul. You ever need it just in case. Gives you a +3. Just about all the grade ones in here are 7k, so they make really good boosters. That's pretty much it. I play 4 Sandy, Fighters Collection heal. No real reason to play this heal. You can play any other heal. Her skill does come in clutch maybe once every other match, but aside from that, it's hollow, I guess. That's my horrible piss poor excuse to playing that. And then I play 1 Akari because it's the more suitable starter. If I played more pre-GB goodness in here, I would play, what's her name? Weddell, whatever the hell her name is. One of my buddies of mine who's a veteran at Bermuda. His name is Carlos. You've probably seen him. You will see him more on the channel. But he is one of the best Bermuda players I've ever known, and he masters Prism. And in his deck, he plays this particular starter. It's very, very old. It's one of the first starters to come out in the game, and he utilizes it so well with his Prism cards because most of them are pretty much just pre-GB. Use it with the critical trigger, get a skill off. I may do it with her if I do decide to do more pre-GB tech-ins because I want to be able to rush with this deck. This deck does horrible against rush, which is why I'm thinking of playing more 10k vanillas as Aqua Force is coming up. And, Tidal Assault and all that is just a pain in the ass. So I'm thinking of doing that, playing teching in Pearl Sisters once I place my order in. These Pearl Sisters were always so much fun back in the day when you had to play Pacifica or Reindeer, way when the game started. And then if you want to play the Grade 2 game, why I'm not sure why you would ever want to do it. You can use the starter skill to slap up one of the Grade 1 Pearl Sisters on place again, give your Vanguard a skill or Rearguard a skill. It's a ton of fun, but in the end, my optimal starter is this. I'm not playing the Grade 3 Searcher ever because you already play her better Grade 1 version. Alright, so moving on to the Stride Zone. Got to introduce these beautiful sleeves. Shout out to my buddy Daniel who traded me these sleeves for other sleeves. I collect sleeves, and I always loved Chaos Universe's art. It's probably one of the best I've ever seen in the entire game. But yeah, moving on. The first one I play is Heat Elemental Marindol. It sounds something straight out of Lord of the Rings. And when I first saw it, I called it the Balrog, and I'm not sure why. I mean, just look at it. But I play this because you got to get rid of Sea Breeze one way or another. And just about every other stride in this G zone can get rid of Sea Breeze one way or another. But if you're going first stride, this is the more optimal one to go to, especially since most of your plays are GB2 related with skills and whatnot. So I mean, plus you want to get to GB2 as fast as you can. You want to get to GB8 as fast as you can. Power Up, Vita, Pumo, all that stuff get you your GB2 on hit. Well, first act, flip up anyone in the G zone face up. So it's going to be the Sea Breeze. If your opponent's already at grade 3, you can't Sea Breeze them. It's going to be a waste in the G zone. Flip it up, gains a skill on hit, give a unit +5 for every face-up card in the G zone. It will just gain 5, or if you did G guard the previous turn, you would go into. I'm sorry. Then you'll give a unit +10. But then again, if you G guarded the first turn, you won't really go into him because at that point your opponent's probably at 2 or 3 damage. You'll go into Olivia or Loris, and you'll use Loris or Angie's skill to flip him up and get rid of Sea Breeze and all that type of stuff. But yeah, one of him. I play one Shushu Lillinel. Going back to what I said earlier, when you G guard first and then you go into a stride, go into her. She does not G flip anything, so you'll still maintain your GB2 status, of course. And it's just a very good pressurizing Vanguard. I mean, especially when your opponent's at 2 damage and you try to guard early, punish them by regaining like 1/5 of your deck back. It's an on-hit skill. On hit, you can return a unit from your board back to your hand if you do. Maybe you just get a unit back. But if you put it to the bottom, this is relating to the Shushu skills set, you draw 2 cards, which is excellent. Keeps a very important unit, or possibly a trigger that you use to boost. Remember, all those crits, all 5k bodies, it's amazing. Slap them all back to the deck, get a trigger back, draw 2 cards, it's great. Leave those there so you guys can see, I guess. Just don't block her face. Play 4. Olivia. Because there's nothing else to play. I'm not really going to explain her because this card's existed for far too long. Playing 2 Celebrate Voice Loris. It's just a beat stick maker. That's all it really is. Playing 1 Perfect Performance Angie. I got the SP because I can't help myself. Of all the SPs in this clan, this Shizuku and the second form of Loris grade 3 SPs are the only ones I ever really want, especially just for one-ofs. Her skill, if you don't know, is GB2, Act, Counterblast 2, flip up anybody else in the G zone face up, like the Balrog or your Sea Breeze, which is coming up soon. And you can bounce as many units as you want, but it's at least 7 from your board and your opponents all together. Put them back to their respective players' hands, draw 1 card if it's at least that amount, and then you get a drive check. That's pretty much it. You just get an additional drive check. And then she gains +5 for every unit bounced. But this card spells out, you must PG me or you're going to die. Yeah, because of all the crits you play. And then we play 1 Priscilla, your GB8. Not the most impressive card, but hey, it doesn't hurt to have. 1 Sea Breeze because you got to punish your opponent sometimes. 1 Leona because Leona just does amazing plays with Amelia and Shizuku and whatever card you can use. You just utilize it to the best of your ability. Plus, there aren't any other G guards that I would like to play. Playing 1 Shushu Palfi, just because it's very generic. It's Godhawk Ichiboshi G-Guard clone from the first Fighters collection that introduced G-Guards into the game. Literally the exact same skill, just for Bermuda, and it makes more sense. Playing 2 High Society Citron. Again, it's another Pumo and Vita clone, especially with the fact that she gains 10k shield, so we finally get a virtually free 10k shield gaining G-Guard, which is just amazing. And then finally, your GG Guard, Sandy. I would take this out. I would take out the... I already forgot her name, Palfi or whatever. The Shushu one, the generic horrible clone that Shushu basically is. It just clones off every other clan. I would play another Sandy. Sandy is just an amazing card. For every 2 cards in your hand, she gains 5k shield, and then if you want Counterblast 1, she gains an additional 5k. So depending on where you are in the game state, you also utilize the extra Counterblast for an extra 5k, but you're probably never going to use it anyway. So that's pretty much it for my deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's pretty fun. It isn't necessarily the cheapest thing you can do, or you can make, although actually I think it is. I think prices for just about every single thing in here has gone down. And yeah, give it a try. If you guys have any tips for me or any ideas for the deck or what you guys play, just let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.